That way, all you gotta do is just take out your puffy jacket and your water and sit on your pack, and then you're good to go. You don't have to rummage around for all your snacks and things like that. So that tends to work out pretty well. So you can organize your snacks, put them in pockets and whatnot tonight. When we do get you up at some point this evening, I don't know honestly what time it's going to be because I have to take into consideration what the weather's doing, what the weather's going to do tomorrow, how many groups are passing by, where we want to be in relation to them on the cleaver because there's a rock hazard. And so regardless, I'll set my alarm for whatever time that is. I'll poke my head out, I'll walk around, and I'll say, yeah, this is going to be the best time for to go, or I'll say, nah, let's going to wait for another hour. So that can be anywhere from 11 to 2 o'clock in the morning, right? It's a pretty big range. And I have a pretty good idea, but I can't promise you, right? So you don't need to set alarms, you don't need to do that. All you got to do is just worry about taking care of your stuff this evening. That way, when I do come and get you, I'll give you a clothing suggestion. And that clothing suggestion is more or less just going to be for long johns or not. No one's going to be putting their Gore-Tex pants on if you have soft shell climbing pants or something because you'll just get too dang hot up there walking. We want to use those Gore-Tex pants as a last resort as well as the Gore-Tex top. So the Gore-Tex can go in the pack, right? Now, other than that, I want you to layer up all of your layers up to your puffy jacket because what you're going to do is you're going to put your boots on, right? You're going to put your gaiters on, and then you're going to put on all of your upper layers aside from the Gore-Tex. And when I say, hey, hot drinks are ready, breakfast is ready, as you're getting stuff ready, put down whatever you're doing, right? And come on over to the cook tent and go and get a hot drink and go get a breakfast, right? Everyone's got to eat, everyone's got to drink in the morning. Because we can't wait an extended period of time with the stoves. We want to be fast with that. So when we call for it, it means it's ready. So go on over and get your hot drink and a breakfast, all layered up. And as soon as you're done, it's not as social of a meal as we've been having in the past. So it'll be more or less just fuel up. We'll top off whatever water bottles aren't topped off, right? Because we'll fill you up tonight, but we want to make sure everyone goes to bed with 2 liters. That way we don't have to spend umpty amount of minutes and hours filling up water bottles in the morning. So you can still sip on your water, but we'll re-top those off tomorrow. So bring your water bottles to dinner. So you go, you come back, and then you start finishing getting ready. Finishing getting ready, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to put your harness on and then your crampons. That's kind of the last stages. The reason is because one, the harness has to go on before the crampons, and two, if you got to take a crap and you already have your harness on, one, I don't want anyone's harnesses to get tarnished, and two, you might as well take care of that business first. So if that means having to go to the cook tent, get a little kickstart, a little caffeine in your system, and then take care of that, then do it. It's better to do it down here than be the person that's on the route that has to do that. That can be the case though. But try to get that out of your system. Everybody shits. Might as well do it in bed. So, that's that, right? So at that point, we'll tear down the cook tent, we'll collapse it. Everyone's bringing their food and all their utensils over there. And then what you're going to do is the guides will have set out ropes. And it's going to be the same rope teams as it was today, right? And everyone will just migrate towards those ropes. When you're totally out of the tent and you're totally ready to go and you don't have to go back in there, we would ask you that the tents are completely zipped up, 100%, right? All the flies, all of the vents, everything like that. Zip that stuff up. Maybe you can leave the inside vents, some of those cracked open for some ventilation to clear out whatever moisture was left, but you're going to want to zip all that stuff nice and tight. That way, if there's gustiness and wind and or critters or whatever, they're not going to get in there. It's just a really well-left camp. Then you're going to migrate over towards the ropes, and we're going to keep those jackets on basically until the guide is like, all right, pack's on. And at that point, the guide's going to strip his or her, outer layers down to whatever layer they feel like they're going to walk in. And that's why I have you wear all of your layers, is because if you just come to breakfast with your big puffy jacket and then you take that off and it's too cold to be walking in and then you have to put something else on, that just takes time. You might as well be totally layered up. That way you can just peel accordingly and as you peel those layers and put them in their pack, then when you need to re-layer up, then you can put those layers on in the same order. So it's just really easy. And that's kind of how we'll do that. Tomorrow morning goes by pretty quick, right? By the time that we wake you up and the time that we want everybody on a rope is going to be about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes. So that seems like it's a pretty good amount of time, but if you think about getting you up, getting your boots on, getting your stuff organized, getting breakfast, coming back, going to the bathroom, it goes by pretty quick. So no lollygagging tomorrow morning, you know, it's game on. Right now we're in a more vertical environment. We're moving into our ascent and our summit bid for the mountain. So it's pretty sweet. We got the weather for it, things are looking good, but I also need people to be focused, right? I'm not saying that we can't have fun up there, that's why I'm here, I love it. But at the same time, just remember, you know, there's hazards up there, and everyone needs to be on their game to protect each other. We're all going to watch each other's back. So from the time that I get you up in the morning, it's go time, right? Anything you need help with, definitely feel free to ask. We're going to be available to you in the morning. We'll help make sure those crampons are on straight and good and flush and tight. Make sure you put your gaiters on the right feet. All the little things. The things you want to double check each other for. If you have your own harness, make sure that they're double backed, right? We're going to check that as well, but there's no harm in having your buddies watch your back too. Check your harness, make sure it's on right. Make sure that you run through the list. I have sunscreen, easy thing to forget because it's dark out, right? Maybe keep it in a pocket so it doesn't get frozen on the way up there. I don't think it will because it's super warm. Make sure you have all of your snacks. Make sure you pack your sunglasses. We're not going to have our sunglasses on because it's going to be dark, but you're sure as hell going to need them on the way down. Make sure that you have that warm hat that's packed in there. Make sure you got all your gloves. Make sure you got extra batteries in a pocket, keeping them warm in case something happens up there. Make sure you change your camera battery or whatever you can do, make sure that you do it. And we'll help run through this list in the morning, but at the same time, if you guys are totally dialed, which I think you will be, that'll make our life a lot easier and it'll help us start climbing faster. Now, as far as the climb goes itself, pretty standard as to what we've done on the way up here. We walk for an hour and 15 minutes, and we take a break. Now, what I ask of you is that these sections are designed to go from safe break spot to safe break spot. We can do micro adjusting and management in between sections, but we ask you that if you're going to commit to a section, that you're committing to go to the top of that section. That's for safety reasons. We can mess around with the rope and do things and juggle stuff up, but if I say, hey, how you doing? And you're like, I'm good, that tells me that you're ready to go all the way to the next break. And that's going to be another hour and 10, hour and 20 minute stretch. I think this group is super strong. I think everyone can get to the top. I wouldn't say that if I didn't think otherwise. You guys have shown nothing but strength and just good style the whole way up here, and I think that'll continue on for tomorrow. But, you know, let's not get backseat on it, and let's stay focused and just keep setting ourselves up for success. Guides have an idea of how you're doing. If we feel like you need to work a little bit more on a certain technique because you're struggling, we'll tell you. If we feel like you need to breathe harder, we'll tell you. If you don't think you can go on and a guide says yes you can, that means you can go on. If you think you can go on and the guide says no you can't, that means you can't. That's just kind of the rule of the land up there. But with that said, I think everybody's fine. I think that's pretty much it. That's the way that things are going to work. When we do hit the crater rim, it's at 14,200 feet-ish. We still have to cross the crater rim in order to go to Columbia Crest. Once we drop down into the crater, we can unrope, we can drop our packs, take a short little break, and then go to Columbia Crest. Columbia Crest is at 14,410. That is the true summit. Now, if you're totally gassed, it's an extra 45 minutes to trudge up there.